What's up? What's up?
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, you guys? Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Welcome back to REI Decoded Facebook group. We are your hosts. My name is Ashley Denmark.
My name is Antonio Denmark.
This group is for, let me say this group is for new and inspiring investors looking to invest in real estate, wanting to learn how to find a deal, fund a deal, rehab the deal, and learn different exit strategies and techniques so that you can start building wealth and building your portfolio. Antonio and I have been doing it for a lot of years. We know your struggles, we know your pains. We have made it our mission and our commitment to be able to teach and show as many people as possible how to do it as a side hustle, how to get off the sideline, how to get into the game without ultimately without using your own money. So welcome. Today we have a training that is near and dear to our heart. So come on in the room, drop in the chat, tell me who is in the room. Before we get started, how you doing today, Tonya?
I'm doing good, man. Been moving and grooving, meeting and checking properties and everything else today. So today has been a solid day so far.
Very active day. Let me say this: if as you guys are coming in, if you are watching this live, I want you to put live in the chat. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to put replay in the chat. And Tanya and I want to make sure that we engage with you, that we talk with you, we find out how we can help you. And if you're watching as a replay, feel free to comment as you go on. I just want to make sure we're able to talk and help you as we can. What's up,
Hey, Miss
Karen?
Karen, all the way from Florida.
St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg.
They just roll off that
Yeah,
way.
you messed me up too. I just jumbled that up. Come on in.
What are they going to learn today, Ashley?
So what we're going to be teaching about today is how to analyze deals. We have done over 200 properties, and in our journey, we have found that there are key things that have helped us get properties, have helped us find the best deals. So today we're going to talk about what our strategy is and how we've crafted over the years so that we are constantly getting good deals.
One of the things that helped us really grow our business was when we stopped depending on real estate agents to give us comps, to give us their ARV and those type of things. Like, yes, we work with agents. Yes, we love agents. We got a lot of agents that's under our umbrella. But in order to be a successful investor, you got to make a lot of offers. Mm-hmm. All right. Meaning you got to analyze a lot of properties. And if you are not an agent yourself, you need to have access to a place that gives you good comparables, that gives you good comps. And comps are a roadmap to what properties in the area have sold for, what properties in the area are listed for. Yes, you can use Zillow. Yes, you can use Redfin. Yes, you can use, I can't say the word right. Realtor.com. But those are free sites, but they don't give you the best information.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about how to dive into it today. What's up, you guys? What's up? I see y'all. We're going to talk about how to dive into it today so that you're not guessing. The one thing that you don't want to do is bombard your realtor with 20, 30 properties that you want them to give you comps on and then say, you know what, I don't even want to move on any of those. So I want to make sure that you guys are prepared. I want to make sure you know, you understand. And remember, if you have any questions, type it in the chat because this training is for you. So type it in the chat. Make sure you have clear understanding. Make sure you feel confident at the end of this training so that you can ultimately do more deals and get in the game. All right.
All right. So for us, we like to get our own ARV, which is the after repair value. And then if we get in negotiations, we like to ask the agent to confirm our comps. Mm-hmm. We don't necessarily go to the agent to get the ARV. We go to the agent to confirm the ARV that we have.
Absolutely.
Example. if I do comparables on the property and I get an ARV of 200,000, if I send the address to my agent and she sends me back her ARV and it's 250, I'm good. If she sends me back her ARV and it's 150, I got a problem. I need to dive into it to see really what's going on. So I'm gonna go into it with my numbers already on what I'm basing the deal off of, and I'm just using my agent to confirm or deny what I have.
So Antonio threw out an acronym. I want to make sure you guys know it. We're going to use that acronym a lot today, and that is ARV. That stands for After Repair Value. All right.
I told them what that meant.
Yeah, but you went fast, so I just wanted to make sure that we addressed it and everybody understands it. All right. So when we are doing deals, we like to stick to the formula that the lenders want. All right. We don't want to guess it. We don't want to overestimate. We want to stick to the numbers. All right. So if the lenders will lend on our project at 70% of the after repair value, we want to make sure we stay in those numbers. All right. So here's how our deal formula looks. All right. So the deal formula is ARV times 70% minus our repairs equals our MAO. And what MAO stands for is maximum allowable offer. That means that it's the most that I can pay for this deal. All right. I don't want to do ARV times 75%. I want to stick to 70% because that is what the lenders are looking for when they fund my deals. If I stick to this number, then I have a great chance of my deal being funded because it's a deal. All right.
One thing I will say is that some lenders, and I'm talking about 10 to 15% of them, they will go to 75% of ARV, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best deal for you. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing a high-end property, you're doing $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 properties, you might go to 75% because it's a higher end property. The lender might allow you to go to 75% because it's a higher end property. But if you want to consistently do deals and you want to consistently make money, do your best to stay at 70%. All lenders, I haven't found a lender that won't go up to 70%.
You mean up to 75%?
Up to 70%. All of them go up to 70%. Only a select few will go to 75%. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those that go to 75, you got to have experience to get to that number.
Yeah. So we also want to leave room for things that may happen. So staying in at 70%, even if you go under and you're at a 65%, you have a better chance in the deal where if something happens, and because something's going to happen, all right? There's not a deal where something's not going to happen. It's just in total transparency. Don't think that you're going to get this deal. You're going to be in and out. It's your first time physically doing it, and you're going to be in and out in 3 months. There's going to be some challenges along the way. 3 weeks. There's going to be some challenges along the way, all right? And those challenges you want to prepare for. So don't go over because that takes away from your profit at the end, all right? That also makes you have to bring more money to the table to begin with because it's essentially not a deal, at least in the lender's eyes.
So make sure you write this down. ARV times 70% minus repairs equals MAO, all right? Mm-hmm. This is the formula. This is the guide. This is what you need to make sure that you have a deal, to make sure you're going to make money on the deal, and to make sure that your lending is going to be smooth on the deal.
Mm-hmm. And remember, if you are watching this live, for the new people that have joined in, make sure you put live in the chat. If you are watching it on replay, make sure you put replay in the chat. All right. So after we understand the deal formula, all right, after we understand the ARV times 70% minus repairs, make sure you include the repairs. Repairs are how much it's going to take to bring it up to that value, all right? So if your comps in the area, and I'm going to talk about comps, I did not want to say that. If your subject houses in the area that you're comparing it to, is 200,000, you want to make sure that the repairs that you're doing is going to bring you to the value of the houses that are selling in that area. All right. Not doing your own thing, not doing a cheaper version of it. You want to make sure those repairs equal it. All right. So I want to roll into comps. Comps are comparables. All right. They're used interchangeably together. Those are comparables. There are houses, single family homes that you're comparing that are similar in shape, style, build, all that good stuff. All right. That's what a comp is. This is what you need. I'm sorry. Comps can really make or break a deal. All right. It's gonna help you, it's gonna help the lender, it's gonna help the appraiser when there are comps in the area that they can measure the house for.
One thing I want to say before you go too far is understand that just because a house is listed on the market for sale does not make it a comp. Okay. Comps are sold properties. All right. That is so key to understand. They are sold properties. If that property is listed on the market, do not use it as a comp. All right. I'm going to say it again. If it's listed on the market, do not use it as a comp. Comps are sold properties, signed, sealed, and delivered.
All right, so just to take it a step deeper, if it's under contract, it's still not a sold property. All right. So if it's listed, if it's under contract, pending contract, that is not sold. All right. What that tells me is the projections for that area. Because what can happen is, and I was telling the group last week, what can happen is a house can go listed for 400,000, and it can get the whole area excited, like, oh, they just put this house on the market for 400,000. And then if they're not getting any bites, they may take it off and put it for a rental. And you just bought your house based on this $400,000 comp that you thought was a comp, but it's not a comp because it never sold. And all the other houses are listed for 275, 300. That's the outlier. All right. So until it sells, it's an outlier. It's a projection. You see that the market is moving in this area. It's trending to go upward, even under contract. Doesn't mean it's under contract for that price. It can be under contract for 50,000 less, depending on the motivation of the seller. So make sure, like Antonio said, it is a sold property. All right.
Comps can help determine your rehab budget. All right. So understand that picking the right comps is what you're going to plug into that formula to make sure that things are going smooth with your rehab budget. So understand that a lot of times we want to just go in and say, this is our rehab budget. But if you work it backwards, you reverse engineer it, the numbers will tell you your rehab budget should be this. And if you can't make it work for this, you might have to change your strategy or go a different route. But the comps tell you how to back into what that rehab number should be. All right. Comps can also help you with estimating the value. That's the main purpose of comps. How much is this house going to be worth once I fix it up and sell it? All right. Those are the main uses of comps. Understand what comps are good for, and we're going to go into how to pick those comps also.
All right. So when we're talking about picking those comps, we want to make sure that we are using the right comps. All right. We want to make sure that it's similar when it comes to square feet, when it comes to the year that they were built, when it comes to finishes. All right. An example of finishes before I go off all of them, because I think a lot of people miss this when it comes to finishes. I know I surely did. I felt like if the houses in the area look like they had hardwood floors, then if I put a cheap laminate on top, it's the same thing. It's not. All right. The appraisers know that it's not, and they're not going to give you the same value for a house that has brand new hardwood floors versus the house that has laminate floors. All right. They're not the same. Laminate is a lot cheaper than hardwood. So pay attention to what the houses are selling with and make sure your finishes are the same or similar. Another example, quartz countertops. That's a very expensive countertop. Well, I can't have houses in my area selling with a quartz countertop and decide to do a laminate countertop or a butcher block and no quartz or granite. Okay. So pay attention. I know you want to stay on budget, but you also want to make sure at the end of the day, the property that you're renovating appraises for that after repair value that you're trying to get.
Must be similar in bed and bath. All right. You can't have a 2 bedroom, 1 bath house and then go and compare it to a 3 bedroom, 2 bath house. Those are not comparable. All right. Does it have to be exact? No. We got some rules to follow, but understand you need to be really similar when you are comparing the bed and bath of the property.
Absolutely. And let me say this: if you guys have any questions, drop it in the chat. So that way we can answer. We're gonna also comp about 2 to 3 properties. So I want you guys to throw some addresses in the chat that we can potentially comp so we can do a live comp analysis. And let me say this: if you have any friends that you feel like need to be in this training, make sure you tag them, invite them into the group so that they can watch this training so they understand how to find deals and how to know if they have a deal.
And we're going to kind of show you the software that we use so that it's easier compared to the other free sites. All right. So make sure y'all drop some properties that we can come and stay to the end so we can do a live analysis so you can ask questions if you have any questions.
All right. So we talked about bed and bath. Did you talk about last 6 months? Okay. So comp should be all right in the last 6 months. You want to get as close to the last 6 months as possible from a sold standpoint. Because by the time you finish it, you're probably going to be at a year. All right. So you want to make sure you're at as close to 6 months to really know what that area is doing. Now, I understand in certain areas that there weren't a lot of activity last year. So that 6 month radius may have been a little less than normal. If that's the case, then it is okay.
You said that 6 month radius.
That 6 month, not radius, sorry. That 6 month, what am I trying to say? What's the
range?
Range may be far fetched. You may have to extend it out to a year versus 6 months, and that's fine. But get as close to 6 months as possible if you have to go out a year. All right.
It must be within a 0.5 mile radius. And we're not talking about like driving distance. We're talking about an area view of the property. So that's one of the things the free sites don't do is the free sites don't allow you to do a area view of the properties. Like Ashley was saying, when it comes to radius, sometimes you might have to go out a little farther. You might have to go a mile. But the most that I would go back is a year. The most that I would go back is out is a mile. But I won't do both of them at the same time. So if you got a property and you're trying to find comps for it, if you go out a year, make sure you stay a 0.5 mile radius. If you go out a mile, make sure you stay in a 6 month radius so that you're not getting bad ARVs and you're not getting bad numbers to base your deal off of.
Absolutely. I see one address in the chat.
We got you, Ms. Stevens.
I got you. Make sure you guys drop some addresses in the chat so we can do a live comp at the end to walk you through this. All right. So we understand what the deal formula looks like. We understand what comps to use. Now let's talk about the rules that the Denmarks have created for comps in particular when you are in a, just to make sure out of these comps you pick the right ones. All right. You ready, Sonia?
Yeah.
All right, so we call this the Denmark's 3-3-3 rule. All right, this is really important so that you are measuring apples to apples and not apples to oranges. All right, sometimes if we're in the 0.5 mile radius, some things may seem like they're similar, but they may not actually be similar. So we want to make sure we dive into similarity because that is what the appraiser is looking at, and we want to be as close to the appraisal numbers as possible. Because it's that appraisal that's going to determine if the lender thinks that it's a deal or not a deal.
All right. Before we go to the 3-3-3 rule, Ash, let's tell them how do we actually calculate the ARV.
Okay.
All right. And what I mean by how we calculate it is we find 3 comps and we take the sale price of all three comps and divide it by 3. All right. So understand, in order to get the ARV, it's not based on one property.
Right.
We're not just taking the highest property in the area that sold and said, boom, that's my ARV.
That's my ARV.
That's not how it works. You want to lose some money? Go do that. All right. We're taking the top 3 comparables or comps, and we are dividing that by 3. So for an easy example, let's say we have one comp at 150,000, we have another comp at 125,000, and we have another comp at 120,000.
All right, y'all need to type in the chat. Tell me, if we add those 3 comps up and divide it by 3, what is our ARV? Type it in the chat.
So 150 plus 125 plus 120 divided by 3. What would our ARV be on this property? And it's just a make-believe situation.
150 plus 125
plus 120.
Plus 120.
So in the reason I see your address, T, and the reason that we kind of want to go over how to calculate it is because if you don't understand how to get the ARV, then the 333 rule will not mean as much to you. Mm-hmm. So you got to understand how to get the ARV so that the 333 rule makes complete sense to you.
Absolutely.
All right. Anybody want to try? Anybody try yet?
All right. Okay. I got one.
I got one person. Give me another one. See Miss Gray. Give me one more. Let me know I ain't talking to myself today.
All right. So it's what you're gonna add up 150 plus I see you D 125 plus 120. Divide that by 3, and that is gonna give you your ARV. 150 is a comp, 125 is a comp, and 120 is a comp. Ooh, I see y'all.
I see you, Ward.
I see you. Okay.
So the textbook answer is 131.6666. So you might round it up to 132, or you might round it down to 130 or 130, 131. All right. So for this example, I'm gonna round up to 132. All right. So my ARV will be 132. And again, if you're watching this training and you don't understand these things, practice.
Yeah,
practice. Like, don't just listen to us talk about it. Practice. Like, I can see some people who gave us answers at one point. They used to struggle with this, but they spitting it out like this because they're practicing.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
Don't just watch it to watch it. Practice these things. All right, I'm sorry. So
come on, coach.
All right. So now I'm going to go over the 333 rule. All right. The first part of the 333 rule is we don't want comp 1 and comp 2. Well, I'll do that second. We'll go 300 square feet.
Okay.
All right. We don't want to use a comp that's 300 square feet more than the subject property. All right. So let's say the subject property is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet. If there's a property that's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square feet, I'm not using that property, okay? That's not a comparable property to me, all right? If it's more than 300 square feet, I'm staying away from it at all costs.
I'm kicking it out. That's not a comp.
That's not a comp. I'm going to go to the next comp that's available, all right? But at the same time, if we switch it, and my subject property is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet. But there's a comp that sold 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it was 900 square feet.
I'm gonna use it because I want my property to always stand out and look the best out of all the comps. So if it makes me look better, then I'm definitely gonna use it. But if it's the opposite, kick it out. All right.
Yeah. So understand that's 300 square feet. I don't want to pick a property that's way bigger than my property and think that I can get that same amount. All right. And the 300 is like a rule of thumb that we like. All right. Miss Karen, go redo your numbers and try it again.
Divided by 3. Divided by 3.
And it's okay. That's why we got to try this stuff because we're going to make mistakes on it. And I know this is your first time hearing this part. So really you got to do it and get these things out the way. All right. So 30 years, all right? I don't want to choose a property that's 30 years younger than my property. All right. And let me make sure I explain it in detail. If my property was built in 1950, I don't want to use a property that was built in the year 2000.
Yeah, because they're not the same. It's a newer build. They don't even have the same wiring, the same anything. Like it's not the same structure. It's not the same house. So make sure that if it is 30 years younger, all right, keep that out too, because at that point it's not go find some houses that are similar when your house was actually built. So for example, if doing it the opposite way, if your house was built in 2000, but there's a comp that sold at a pretty good price and it was built in 1960, I will use it because my 2000 is going to stand out. It's going to look amazing compared to a 1960 house. Surely, if a house sold in 1960 for this amount, surely my house is worth even more if it's the newer build. All right.
All right. So the last three is $30,000. All right. And this three is super important because it can really mess you up. I don't want comp one and comp two to be more than $30,000 in sale price apart. Mm-hmm. All right. Example. The example I gave earlier was comp one was 150, comp two was 125, comp three was 120. All right. Let's hypothetically say that in that same scenario, instead of a 150 comp, that first comp was 160. And then comp two was 125. Mm-hmm. Then comp three was 120. I'm going to throw out that 160 comp because I'm not confident that that's the true ARV. That's an outlier property to me.
Right.
All right. So what I would do is I'm going to go use 125, 120 and go find another comp. That's so important, y'all, so that you don't over inflate your ARV numbers to make you feel like you got a deal. I'm not saying you can't list it for 160. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I won't do my numbers based on that high comp. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm going to do my numbers a little more conservative to make sure that if I get any extra, it's gravy. Mm-hmm.
Let me say this. Does everybody understand the 333 rule before we
I didn't finish the.
Okay, go. Sorry.
Now the exception is between comp 2 and comp 3, I really don't care.
Right.
All right. If it's a 20, 30, 40, $50,000 difference, I don't care. Now, if I got two comps, I got a 150, I got a 140, and then 100.
That's fine.
I'm cool with that. As long as I got two good comps, they're going to average out. All right. So understand it's super important to understand these basic principles because people who don't use these basic principles potentially find themselves in issues. That's why sometimes you find people who say, hey, I did one real estate deal and had success, but I did another one and I didn't necessarily have the same success. It was because they're not following the basic principles and they really got lucky on that first one, but that second one came around and logic caught up with them.
Yeah. Okay, so they said yes, they're understanding it.
Okay, all right, let's go.
All right,
so we got two properties.
We have two properties so far. If you have a property that you want us to analyze live today, please drop it in the chat. I see two so far. Drop it in the chat. We'll analyze the property. We're going to analyze a few properties live so that way we can make sure you guys understand. Let me say this. If you want our list for how to customize and get a feed coming from your realtor, a property feed coming from your realtor.
I don't think that's today, babe.
Huh?
Did you check that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Go ahead and drop I want it in the chat so that way we can give it to you. And what it will do is it's going to give you keywords to use so that you have more properties to analyze and they come directly to your email. So highly motivated sellers so that you're not wasting your time analyzing deals that are retail, but you're getting MLS deals coming to your email box that you can make offers on like we're going to show you in the next few minutes.
And at the end, I'll drop the software that we use. There is like a 14-day free trial for it so that you can test that out. So I'll drop that at the end. Just remind me.
Okay. All right. So we talked about the deal formula. We talked about what a comp is.
Okay. D say repeat. Don't understand. Which one you don't understand, Miss D? Talk to us. Right in the chat. We'll come back to it.
Yep. So we talked about the deal formula. We talked about comps. We talked about the 3-3-3 rule. Next is once you've identified the comps, it is important to identify the rehab. All right. What will the rehab cost? And we like to start with our basic scope of work. All right. And on our basic scope of work, it has things that we're going to always do in a project. All right. We're going to always paint the interior. We're going to always paint the exterior. We're going to paint the kitchen cabinets. We're going to put a granite countertop. We are going to change out the knobs, hinges. We're going to update the bathroom. We're going to put tile backsplash. We're going to put brand new water fixtures, light fixtures to spruce up the property. All right. So we put that in our basic scope of work. What we like to do is we like to look at the pictures of the properties that are listed, whether it's coming from your realtor, whether it's coming from a wholesaler, or it's coming from a referral. We like to look at those pictures to see, okay, outside of our basic, what else needs to be done? All right, outside of our basic, what else needs to be done? And the things that need to be done is that maybe it needs a brand new roof. Maybe there's, maybe the picture shows that maybe some of the roof, there's water coming in inside and the roof needs to be repaired. Where we're going to add money to our scope of work based on that. All right. So we're going to add, it's either going to be in 2,500 increments or $5,000 increments, depending on the item. All right.
One thing that I do want to tell you about that basic scope of work is it's for the Birmingham, Alabama area market, and it is for a 1,500 square feet house. So if you are in Florida, Karen, I would kind of take that basic scope of work as a template, and I would go around and while I'm talking to my different contractors, I'll start kind of plugging in those base numbers for that area. All right. So understand that the formula doesn't change. The numbers might change based on if you're in Florida or Atlanta or Chicago, but understand that the formula won't change. All right. We're going to use a basic scope of work and we're going to add on from there. All right. And if we have a bigger house, we just going to up the basic scope of work. All right. If it's smaller, we keeping it the same.
All right.
And the reason this is important is because this allows us to estimate rehabs quickly. All right. When we're doing scope of works, we're not starting from line item one. We're pulling up our 25K scope of work. We're going to duplicate it, and then we're going to add on what needs to be added on from there. All right. So our scope of work is 75% done when we start.
Right. So that allows us to be able to move quickly and make offers versus scheduling to see every single property. This allows us in the time that you go and you schedule it because you see it listed on Monday, you go schedule it for Saturday when you're off. We've already had an offer in the same day it was listed, or we followed up on it if it was listed a long time ago, because there's speed in putting that offer in. All right. Yes. Speed is important. All right. So Dietrich said the last statement to sign up with the list or realtor for properties. If you want to know keywords that you can have your realtor to put to get you to put in the MLS to send you out an automated email so that you're getting houses that either are an expired listing, maybe they've been listed for over 90 days, maybe it's a foreclosure. That way you're not searching through the entire MLS. You're actually going to the deal. All right. You're analyzing properties that fit your buyer's criteria. All right. I see another property. All right. I think we got about 4 properties right now.
Okay.
All right. Anything you want to add before we go analyze?
Last thing. Make the offer.
Make the offer, y'all.
Y'all stop just doing it and then not making the offer. Follow through. Make the offer. The worst thing they can tell you is no, y'all.
Yeah. And even if they tell you no, all right, even if they tell you no, I want you to still follow up. All right. There is money in follow up. I want you to still follow up, because following up is what's going to help you make or break that deal. All right. It's going to, if somebody else says, you know what, we can't buy anymore, we don't like it because of the inspection, then following up is going to get it for you. All right. I see you, Ashley. I see you, Rosie. I see you, T. I see y'all. I got y'all. All right. Kenyatta, I got you. Okay. So let's go analyze the deal. All right. Let's put the first address in.
Let's go.
All right. If you guys have any questions, make sure you are typing it in the chat. All right. I don't want you to leave here today and you don't know, you're like, you know what, I thought I had it, but I don't have it. Ask your questions now, wherever you are, so that you can get to the next level. All right. So that you can start making offers and getting off the sideline and getting into the game.
And for most people, 77. For most people, it's the little things that's holding y'all back. Like, make these offers. Don't be afraid to be told no. It's okay. All right. So right here we have
the shared.
Okay. We are doing Miss Karen property right now. All right. You sharing now?
I'm sharing.
All right. This property is it don't give us any bed and bath. It tells us it was built in 2023. It's a one-level house. It looks like they're doing some remodeling on it. We're in Tampa, Florida. All right. So ideally, Miss Karen, can you give us the bed and bath on it? So right now, this is the calculator part of it, where you can put all this information in to spit out what your potential profit is going to be. What we're going to do first is we're going to calculate the ARV. All right.
Yeah, I'll check it while you're on this page to see if Miss Karen.
So I'm going to assume it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I mean, 3-2 on that bed.
You got it.
I'm sorry. If it's not a 3-2, then we'll adjust. But I'm going to assume it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property. All right. So when I go down here, this allows me to adjust the comps that I'm looking for. All right. These are the things that was preset, and I'm going to adjust them as I want to adjust them. So this property says it's 4,300 square feet. All right. I'm going to put all the small houses in. All right. I don't know if it's 4,000 square feet. That's just what it's telling me. It's giving me all the properties built between 1972 and 1985. This house was built in 2023. All right. So I'm gonna make this range a lot bigger. The mile. So right here, you can go all the way to 3 miles out. I'm gonna start at 0.5. All right.
And see what we get.
And see what I get. Bed and bath has got 8. I'll leave it there for now. I'm gonna take them baths all the way down because I want to see all the properties. If it's been sold, I want to do 6 months. All right. So I like to start 0.5, 6 months. All right. And I'll adjust from there. If I don't get what I'm looking for, I'll adjust. All right. So the first thing I see is this property here, 1,400 square feet. It was built in 1957. It's 450 square feet. All right. So I'm going to put that in there. This is a duplex or triplex. This is not a comparable. Okay. Right now, yes, we got a single family home. All right. So I'm not going to put this as a comp. I'm going to go to the next property. 343. Then this one is 335. And I'm looking at year built. I'm looking at all these things. I'm go there. So right now, if I'm just looking at these three comps, I'm not even looking at pictures. I don't even really gotta look at pictures right now. All right. I got a 450, I got a 330, and I got a 325. There's something that instantly jumps out at me just on those three comps. Do anybody see what it is? All right. Do anybody see what instantly jumps out based on the three comps that I have chosen? What instantly jumps out at you? All right. And I give you some time to figure it out.
Type in the chat if you know what instantly stands out to Antonio about those four comps. Type in the chat what you think it is. Give it a guess. Let's see.
All right, we'll give it 30 more seconds. And don't be afraid to get it wrong.
Yeah.
Just give me your opinion. But it is clear that something jumps out at me when I look at these 4 comps that I got chosen.
And Karen did say it was a 3-2.
Okay.
Year built is what?
Okay, Sharita put year built. So this was built in 1957. This was built in 1956, 1957, 1980. All right. So as based on this was built in 2023. All right. So year built, yes, it is noticeable, but it doesn't affect what I'm doing from a comp standpoint because my property is new. So if my property is built in 2023, I'm confident that I should be able to match or get more than what they got on these properties. All right.
All right. So let me ask you this question: was that?
No, that's not what I was looking at.
Okay.
That wasn't the right one.
But
that was a good one.
That was a good talking point.
So one of these comps instantly eliminates themselves. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Okay. Which one of these comps would you eliminate based on the 4 comps I got? Which comp would you eliminate off the bat? Can I make it bigger, or is it big enough?
It's big enough.
Okay.
And let me just double check.
All right. So I just tell them this is too small for them to see.
Okay.
All right. So the thing that quickly jumps off my radar is, I made it a little bigger. Is this price of $450 and my next comp being $343? All right. Instantly, I'm gonna take this property out because I'm way more than 30,000. Like I don't know why this one sold for 450,000 and everything else was 343, 335, and 330. But I'm not gonna use that as no comp.
Good job, Sharita. I see you.
The 450. Good job, Sharita. So right now,
good job, Mr. Mickens.
Right now, if I had to do an ARV based on this, I'm doing 343 plus 335 plus 330 divided by 3.
And what does that give us for our ARV? So let's say it again. We got
comp 1
is 343,000. Comp 2 is 335,000. And comp 3 is 330,000. What would be our ARV? Put it in the chat. What will be our ARV? If comp 1 is 343, if comp 2 is 335, and comp 3 is 330, what will be our ARV? We are going to add them all up and we are going to divide them by 3. What do we get? Okay, I see you, Ms. Ward.
Boom, 336. So just looking at the property, that's what I assume my ARV is. Now, I am super confident in the 336 ARV. All right. Now, what I will do is I might peek around and maybe I might go up a mile to see if I can find some other properties that maybe support this 450.
And it
Right.
doesn't.
I don't see that. I'm gonna go a year back to see if I can find something that supports this 450. All right. So it's actually some properties a year back that can potentially support this 450 price point. So it's the 475 and a 455. I can see me going up on my ARV based on the comps back in the year. Now I'll look at what date it was sold and try to make a better judgment, but it's so important to understand the different rules of it. So this was sold last year in July. This was sold last year in June. All right. I'm not confident in these numbers because we are almost at a year. Mm-hmm. So by the time I finish my project, these comps gonna be gone.
They're gonna be almost 2 years old, depending on how long it takes.
So I'm gonna go back to my original comps on this one.
Yeah, and let me say this: I like to, if I have 3 good comps, I like to stick to as close to the market, today's market, as possible in those 3 comps if they are available. All right. So Karen, this property I would say is 300. What was it? 336 will be your ARV.
All right. What's the number?
All right. Let's go back.
All right, we finna do another one real quick, y'all. And I'm gonna go a little faster this time.
It's not letting me go back.
You let you go to the address? Mm-hmm. Oh, that sucks.
Okay, Dietrich had one. Let me just do this one.
Okay.
27. Okay. Oh, again, 2707 NOV. Right there.
All right, so we're going to Hueytown, Alabama. I'm gonna hit this button to get the data. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's got 1 full bath, 1 half bath. It's split level. I see an outside picture right here. It was built in 1973 and it's 1,250 square feet. All right.
I'm gonna go try to pull up the others in the meantime.
So again, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to go to this information up here. I'm gonna start with my 0.5 mile radius. I'm gonna do 1 to 6 months. Baths, I'm gonna take baths. I'm gonna take all the way down. Beds, I'm gonna take all the way down. This property is 1,200-ish square feet. I'm gonna keep it the same. It was built in 1973, so I'm gonna keep this the same. So that's pretty much what a good ARV gonna look like. All right. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sort it by price. All right. I know this ain't a good price. I know this ain't a good price. All right.
That probably means that there is a package deal. And that was the total price of the package deal. If nothing else, is $2 million or close to $1 million in the area.
So I'm gonna say 338, 264, 189. All right. 179. So when I hit them 4 properties, first thing I'm looking at is my price. I'm gonna automatically kick this one out because it's 338,000. So it's more than 30,000 of that one. I'm gonna kick it out. My year built, my year builts are good across the board. All right. So now I got 264 and 189. I'm gonna throw this one out too, y'all, because it's more than 30,000. So right now, if I just had to super confident, then my ARV would be 189, 179, 169 divided by 3. That'd be my ARV. So, but I do want to look and see if there's other properties that have sold for close to these amounts. So the first thing I like to do is go a mile out. So with these 830,000, I know this ain't it. Like I know the area. So I ain't even gonna, and when it's two sale price of the same thing like that, more than likely they were sold together as a pack.
Yeah, and then one thing that I want to show is this property is on Noville Drive. There's actually a property that's listed, not listed, that's sold on that same street. So I'm going to immediately want to figure out exactly, is that a comp? Is that comparable? Because the addresses are the same.
All right, so really, by going a mile out, my comps really stay the same. Like I might go 195 and kick this 169 out, but these will be my 3 comps. All right. So let me go the other way. All right.
And make sure you drop your questions in the chat. If you got any questions, why did Antonio do this? Why did he do that? Make sure you drop it in the chat.
So right now, I still got 338. I still got 264. I got a 210. So I'm looking to see this 210. It was built in 1995. What year was I built?
1973.
Okay, we still good by that. So this way actually give me the best of comps. So I can go 210, 198, and 189. So I went a 0.5 mile radius out and I went a year back. So this is the best comps that I can get for this property. 210, 189, 198. What would that ARV, Ashley?
All right, 210 plus 198 plus 189.9. Add those together, divide it by 3, and tell me our ARV.
199,300. I am confident in a 200,000 ARV.
I told you to tell me.
I'm sorry. Time running out. Shit, gotta go. I'm confident in 200,000 ARV for this property, Miss Border. But that doesn't mean I won't list it for 230, 240. Also, if I'm a 3-2, all these are 3-2s. This is a 3-1. This is a 3-2. So I'm good from bed and bath standpoint. I'm good from a square foot standpoint. Even though this one is 1485, it's still not 300 square foot more. I'm good from a year built standpoint. So these are 3 solid comps.
All right. Do you think you got time for one more?
I got one more, baby.
All right. We're going to do Mr. Mickens. I was able to find his.
Okay.
All right. If you guys want access to this software that we use, just put me in the chat and I'll make sure that we send you out the link for so that you can try it it's for 14 days.
Yeah, you get a free trial with it.
You get a free trial for 14 days. Just put me and we'll send it to you in the chat.
Address.
The address is 701 27.
And what I mean by I'm gonna do this before I even do anything to my agent. Before I send anything to my agent,
Northeast.
I'm doing this so that I can
At Northeast, not Court.
killing me, Dad.
You moving too fast.
You're too slow. 27th Ave.
Northeast. The first one, right there.
Bam.
There you go. Get it.
All right. So this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, built in 1958, 1,637 square feet. All right. So them just basic information. I see the outside is 1 level, no garage. I'm just observing those basic things.
I feel like I've seen this house.
I feel like I have to.
I think it's by Blackness.
Nope.
Nope.
All right. So now I'm coming down to my map to look at my comps. All right. My square feet was 1,600. So I'm going to probably bring that down a little bit. My year built was 1958. Yeah, I'm going to bring that down some too. I'm going to do 6 months. Bed and bath, so I'm going to push all the way down. And this is what I'm looking at. All right. I'm going to sort by price and see what it gives me. 3.2, 1,200 square feet, 189. A 4.2, 129. 3.2, 125. All right. So based on these numbers, I'm going to throw this 189 out and use this 125.
Because it's greater than 30,000 between one and come two.
All right. I'm not going to throw this 4-bedroom, 2-bath out because I don't mind my comp being 1 bedroom bigger. All right. Now, if it was a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, I'll probably throw that comp out because it's +2. But understand that I'm cool. Also, this one has 1,800 square feet. I got 16, so I'm good. So right now, this is giving me a low ARV. All right. And it might be high depending on the price, but the numbers are the numbers.
So if we take 129 plus 125 plus 125, add those together and divide it by 3, what does that give us? What does that give us for ARV?
All right. But I do see this 189.
And I'm curious.
So I'm gonna adjust my parameters to see exactly can I make something. Is this really something else going on? So the only thing I adjusted was I went a mile out. All right, I got a 233, I got a 210, and a 209. All right, I like all these comps better. All right, so right now, all these are solid comps. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet. This is almost an identical comp right here.
Good job, Tamar. I see you.
All right, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This is a little bigger. This one sold a little quick, a little more recent. 210, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet, 209. So I'm confident in this ARV right here.
I see you, Ms. Coleman. Yep.
Y'all spit them out quick now. I see you.
All right.
So let's do these numbers. And that's why it's so important to get your own numbers so that when you send it to your agent to confirm, you're good. Because if we didn't go a mile out, our ARV was 126.
And remember what I told you at the beginning, that last year there was a part where there wasn't a lot of traffic from a sale perspective when it comes to houses being sold on the market. So that's why he actually had to go out a little further just to make it. But if you didn't know this, you would think that, okay, the ARV is really 126,000 when that's really not the case.
All right, so I'm gonna try the other one. Let's see if anything different come up the other one. A 281 potentially, a 254 potentially, a 235, 218. All right, so if I go a year back, I actually get some better numbers. What's that 281?
That 281 is a little too close.
It's a little too close to what, babe?
254.
So that's why I'm doing my numbers to see.
Real close to 30,000.
So it's 26,000.
Yep.
All right. So in this situation,
I'm probably gonna be conservative and take it out though.
all right, why would you be conservative to take it out?
Because for one, I already had to go back a year.
Okay.
This is actually closer to a year than the others, but I feel more confident if I take it back.
Okay. So you go 254, 235, 218.
Yeah, I feel more confident with those.
Okay. My bed and bath is good. My square feet, I'm bigger than all these properties, so I'm good from a square feet. From an age, we all in the same range. So I would feel confident in this ARV if I had to go this way.
Mm-hmm.
So if my ARV was 230, I messed up. Hold up.
Yeah, I tried to get it before Antonio.
Nope.
254, 900 plus 235 plus 218 divided by 3 gives us our ARV. What's our ARV?
235.
235.
So I would be confident 235. Now, what I will do is, and we're going to go after this one, I will, because I don't see any pictures, I will take these addresses and put them in Google to look at pictures to make sure that I'm comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges. All right. So this is one of the comps I chose. One thing I noticed, this is a split level. It's got a garage. It might have a finished basement. So that's one thing I'm gonna be looking for, because if my property don't have a finished basement, then I probably won't use this property if it does have a finished basement. So I see a finished basement right here.
Yeah.
So
how do I know it's finished? I see drywall, I see carpet down these steps, I see a door that looks like it's been painted. So it looks pretty doggone finished to me.
Yep. So I wouldn't use this one, because if you remember, we had a flat level, a one level home. All right. So if I go back to my comps and I take this one out, so I'm gonna go to the next one. Hit the X over here, really?
Yeah. And then over here. And then put it right there.
I put it right here. Because Redfin don't always give me the best pictures. Potentially do, but I'm gonna Google that. All right. Oh, this one look nice right here, y'all.
Looks like it may have been staged or virtually staged. Yep, it's giving me remodeled.
Painted cabinets, updated bathrooms. All right, has a garage, but it don't like it got a finished basement. Well, yeah, the basement there. So I'm not gonna use this one because I can see a finished basement. So I'm gonna take that one out also. So we using the rehab evaluator to get our basic numbers, but at the same time, we are going to check pictures to see what these properties look like. All right, like this one may not have the same one.
Yep. There we go.
Okay, this is looks super nice. It has a garage also, so I'm noticing a lot of these houses got the garage. Will I knock a comp out because it has a garage and I don't? I personally won't. I'm more so concerned with the bed, bath, and square feet and all the other things. But what a garage does tell me is there's a good chance that it has a finished basement. and I can look at these pictures
and tell
and tell you
there's
it does.
There's at least a basement. We're just finding out if it's finished.
When I see these windows at the bottom,
brand new windows,
that's telling me it's a good chance there's a finished basement. If it was a finished basement, I'm gonna kick it out. But the finishes look good.
Oh, that looks
Nice
amazing.
lights, open floor pan, new appliances, island.
Plan.
You know what I'm trying to say. Quartz countertop, undermount sinks.
Oh yeah.
Like this is a remodeled house. This is what my product should look like. This is what I'm trying to get to. So right now, the only thing I'm looking for is the basement. All right. So I do see this is the garage. Maybe
some of it is finished. We have some walls.
Or is that just
or
the
laundry room? So I'm potentially use that because it's not.
I don't just see finished. I can see the laundry room being down there.
It looks like a part of it is finished.
Did I lose my other?
And so when it comes to renovations, what we do with this property is what Ashley said. So what we would do is we want to make it look similar to these comps. We don't want to outdo these comps. We want to stick to what is selling in the area. All right. So we see painting the exterior is selling in the area. We see painting the interior is selling in the area. We see new flooring is selling in the area. If you pay attention to this one actually has carpet in the bedrooms. It's selling in the area. So you want to make sure that you're not overdoing it to where your rehab budget goes all out the door, but you want to stick to what is selling in the area. All right. So in this area, a couple of them had an open floor plan. So I want to make sure I open it up because it's selling in the area that way. A big thing that I see most people do is they feel like they should have a double vanity, is an example, or a big master bathroom. If the other houses are selling with a small master bathroom and my house has a small master bathroom, we're gonna stick to it. This house sold carpet in the living room and dining room.
Carpet in the living room. Laminate
countertop. They repainted the original cabinets and just changed the knobs and hinges. They got mixed match appliances. One is stainless steel, the other two are black. They do have new tile in the bathroom and new vanity, fresh paint on the walls. They kept the what is it called?
I don't know, baby.
Go up. Right there. At the bottom. What is it?
The paneling.
The paneling. They kept the paneling and painted on it. So if my house has paneling, there's no need for me to rip it off and put new drywall. They painted the shower towel in this bathroom instead of knocking it out and putting new shower towel. They painted it. They also got a very cheap countertop in this bathroom, this hallway bathroom. They painted it. Okay. So just know that you don't have to do every single nook and cranny in the house, all right, for it to be sold.
But also, I want you to see the difference in the finishes. Like, this is a solid finish, but it's not giving me this.
Right, they're not the same.
It's not giving me all the way this new tile, new shower valves, new rails. So like this gives me a little more updated than the other one. That don't mean they're not comps, but I just noticed that that's at least the bare minimum I can do.
Absolutely. All right.
All right.
I hope this helped. Let me know if this helped you guys.
You gotta practice this stuff, y'all.
You have to practice it.
Like you just can't look at one training and say, okay, I know how to do comps. No, you gotta keep doing it. You gotta keep running into scenarios so that you can fine-tune these things. All right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you guys have any questions before we drop off?
And if you got to go back and watch this, go back and watch it.
Yes.
All right. Don't just be naive and I got it. No, go back and watch it.
Practice
do it again. Practice it.
Absolutely. Until you feel confident about it.
Yep.
All right. If you have not signed up for our Wealth Without Limits training, make sure you sign up for it. It is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central. You can let me pull it up.
We talk a lot about money on this Wealth Without Limits call. We talk a lot about how to find property. So like today, we just analyzing properties today, but there are so many other facets of real estate that you gotta truly understand to build up your confidence.
Yeah, so make sure you sign up for it. We will not go live in Facebook or on YouTube. You have to sign up to get the link. It's a virtual training, but you have to sign up to get it. All right. So go to www.denmarks.us/wealth workshop and go ahead and get the link to sign up. All right.
All right. That's all.
Love you guys. See y'all later.
Peace.